Hey Body and Business family, my name is Isabella. I am the owner of two six-figure earning online businesses. Today I'm going to be talking about the stock market for beginners. So you guys know on my YouTube channel, I have showed you guys so many different ways to make money. And it's one thing to make money and another way to actually invest it and to grow your wealth. You can start investing your money with as low as $50, $100, any extra cash you have, you can buy stocks, which will help your money grow over time. Or maybe instead of going on a mall shopping spree, you can take that money and put it into the stock market. I'm going to explain all of this to you guys today in very simple terms because I understand how it feels to watch some YouTubers' videos and they use all types of different lingo. So in this video, I'll try to keep things as easy and simple as possible for beginners. And if you already are buying stocks, I'll also give you some tips at the end of things that I think are great to invest in. Of course, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and none of this is actual advice. This is just what I did when I started making money and investing in the stock market and sharing my knowledge with you. Investing in the stock market is actually a lot more simple than people actually think. So by the end of this video, hopefully you walk away with the knowledge to be able to start investing in the stock market and watch your money grow over time. If you're ready to get started and learn about the stock market right now, make sure you guys smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm so this video can be pushed to other people across YouTube and they can learn about the stock market as well. So the first step to actually investing in stocks is opening a brokerage account. Brokerage accounts give you access to being able to buy, trade, and sell stocks. Popular brokerage accounts are through Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab. I personally use Merrill Edge because that's just how I had everything set up previously. I also use Robinhood. I do think that Robinhood is definitely the most user-friendly for beginners, and this is not at all sponsored, but I do have a link in the description box that if you do use that link to create an account, you will get a free stock up to $250. So after you download Robinhood or you choose who you want to do your brokerage account through, you'll click sign up, you'll create an account, and you'll transfer money from your bank account into one of these accounts. Robinhood makes it pretty easy on their app. You just click add to your wallet and you're able to transfer funds from your bank. And they're pretty much all set up the same way. So what is a stock? When you own a stock in the company, it's almost like owning a piece of the pie in a company. When you buy a stock, you're buying a share of the company. Examples always help me learn, so I'm going to show you guys one now. So if you guys Google Apple stock, you guys will see the graph that pulls up of Apple stock. You guys can see that right now the Apple stock is worth $160. If you click the More button and you click on 5 years and you go down, so you guys can see that in 2017, the Apple stock was only worth $35. If you had bought that stock in 2017, your money would have grown over 300%, meaning that your initial $35 would have turned into $160. So if you chose at that time to buy 100 Apple stocks at $35, your initial investment would have been $3,500. But 5 years later, since the Apple stock is now at $160, that $3,500 would now be worth $16,000. This is how people are able to grow their money over a long period of time. Oftentimes what people do is they wind up buying stock in companies that they believe in and that they think will be a good company to invest in long term. One thing you guys do have to keep in mind is that the stock market is driven by news. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter only based upon the intrinsic value of a company. For example, Facebook obviously is a very successful company. But if one piece of bad news comes out about the stock will plummet and go down because of that bad news. And of course, when there's good news, the stock will go up. When there's more people that want to buy a stock and there's more demand for the stock, that causes the stock to go up. But then of course, if there's bad news and there's less people wanting to buy the stock and there's less buyers, the stock price goes down. Even if the stock goes up or down when you're holding it, you don't lose money in the stock and you necessarily don't gain anything either until you sell the stock. So even if you buy a stock and it goes down tomorrow, as long as you hold that stock over a long period of time, people typically see good results. Even when stock market prices crash, as long as you're holding on to that stock and you don't panic sell it and you don't sell it, you're not losing any money. The stock itself is just not worth that much at the moment, so you wouldn't want to sell it anyways. So I know a lot of people probably say, oh, stocks? Yeah, that's what my parents did for retirement. So a lot of times I've noticed stocks are associated with retirement and retirement funds. And although stocks are a great way to contribute to your retirement fund and you open up retirement accounts, having a brokerage type of account allows you to still have access to this money without a penalty. Whereas if you put money into a retirement type of account, you will not be able to touch that money until you're a certain age. You can technically touch it, but there's a big penalty for it, and it's just not typically worth it to do that. But with brokerage accounts or accounts like that you have through Robinhood, this is definitely better for people that are wanting to trade stocks and taking it out if needed without some sort of penalty. Although one big piece of information to keep in mind is that if you sell a stock under the 1 year mark, you have to pay, which is called capital gains tax. So if you choose to buy a stock tomorrow and it goes up 100% and you sell it, percent of that money that you make, you have to basically put aside because the brokerage account that you're using is going to report that to the IRS and you're responsible. But if you hold the stock long term, the taxes are much less if you were to sell it. So maybe you're not sure what stock to buy and you really don't have time to research. Majority of my money is actually in index funds. So what is an index fund? Index funds and ETFs are basically like holding a bunch of different companies in one stock. And there are tons of different index funds available, which if you guys do want me to do a comparison of these index funds, I definitely can in another video if you guys would like to see that. A great example of an index fund is the S&P 500. The S&P 500 includes 500 different traded companies in the United States. This means that if one of those companies do really poor and another company in that 500 company does really well, it'll wind up balancing itself out and it's measured among all the companies. That means that you're not just depending on one performance of one company. So you're basically owning 500 companies in the stock market with one stock, which just not only simplifies it for you, but it definitely doesn't give you a huge heart attack too if the stock market were to go down. Historically, the S&P 500 has done so well over the years and continues to rise every year. So when buying stocks, another important thing to look out for is called dividends. So a lot of times you hear people being able to retire and what makes them money are their dividend payments. That's because they've accumulated enough money in their stock market portfolio for them to just live off dividends. They were able to make their money work for them in this way without even lifting a finger. So just say you buy 100 shares of a company for $10 each. You have invested a total of $1,000. So just say this company pays 30 cents for their annual dividend per share of stock. That means over the course of the year, you would receive $30 in dividend payments. If you want to know if the stock that you're thinking about choosing has a dividend, you can actually just Google it. I usually just will put Apple stock and I will just scroll down and you can see dividend yield for Apple, for example, is 0.55%. So you can see it right there if they have a dividend. And typically whenever I receive money from dividends, I just keep it in my brokerage account. I don't take it out. I just leave it in there and I reinvest it. I do like dividends because then even if the stock goes down, I'm still receiving dividend payments. So it's almost like that balances it out. Dividend payments are really one of the only true passive ways to make income since your money is truly just working for you. And there's actually an index fund that only includes dividend stocks, so you guys can get a dividend from that index fund. Some companies pay dividends quarterly, some pay annually. It just depends on the stock. And you guys can buy index funds just like any other stock. Basically, whenever I want to see anything about a stock, I literally just Google it. There's so much information just by Googling. There's a lot of finance blogs out there that you guys can read up on, but you can basically learn everything from just Googling things and watching YouTube. I always feel as though investing anything is better than nothing at all. And even if you can put $10 into an index fund every single month, you will most likely see a growth in your money over a long period of time. Stocks are obviously not a get-rich type of investment, and you definitely have to have a lot of patience. It's almost like you should just put your money there and kind of just not look at it, and then check it in 10 years and see how much it grew. No, I'm just kidding. I check it almost every single day. But realistically, if you were to do that, you would probably see some big gains. So since I personally am a visual learner, I'm going to show you guys how to actually buy a stock through Robinhood. So So after you're done signing up for Robinhood, and if you sign up with that link, I also get a free stock. So not only are you supporting my channel and helping me, but I'm also helping you guys and getting you guys a free stock as well. So for example, if you guys go to browse and then you're going to search Tesla in Robinhood, let's check out this Tesla stock, which has been doing really well also for me this past year. So this Tesla stock is now around $800. And you guys can see when you guys click on this 5-year graph, it has grown so much. And I personally think Tesla will continue to grow. So I just say I don't have $800 laying around and I want to buy a fractional share of Tesla. Robinhood, you're able to buy a stock fractionally. So what that means is that you're able to buy a fraction of the share and see a return on that fraction. So what you do is you're going to click trade. You're going to click buy. And then I just have $76 in this cash account in Robinhood. So I'm just going to put this $76.57 that I have into this stock. Then you're going to click review. And it shows you down at the bottom here that you're receiving, 0.09 shares of this stock since we're buying the fraction of the stock price, not the actual full stock itself. So then once you confirm that, then you're going to just swipe up to submit. And you're done. That's literally all you have to do. And that's as easy as it is when buying stocks. And again, Robinhood's definitely more simple than other brokerage accounts. With my Merrill Edge account, it's definitely a little bit more technical looking. It's not as user-friendly as Robinhood, so that's why I do recommend Robinhood for beginners. And again, this is not sponsored. I am definitely not sponsored by Robinhood at all, but I put that link in my description, so if you guys want a free stock, you guys can sign up through that link. I remember when I was recommended by somebody to get into learning about stocks, my parents were immediately like, oh my gosh, that's really risky. They were like, you could lose money. A lot of times people in your life won't give you the best advice or best feedback unless they are doing it themselves. So again, if you're wanting to get into stocks and your family doesn't have any knowledge of stocks, or you're telling your friend and they don't own any stocks, that's the kind of response you're probably going to get. You can tell them, but whatever they say, kind of keep it with a grain of salt or don't tell them at all. That's just one piece of advice that I have for other people. If I were to start investing in stocks when I was first interested in investing in stocks back in 2017, but I let all of these failure thoughts and people in my life kind of talk me out of it, and it really was that simple. Like if I had just done that back in 2017, I would have had huge gains on my money instead of just leaving it in the savings account. Since then, I did buy a property, so I am thankful that, I was able to invest in real estate. So I did invest my money in some way, which I do plan on making a video about real estate soon and how I invest in real estate at 20 years old. But I definitely wish I had spent my time with an open mind, watched more YouTube videos, and actually just did it, even back then. But luckily, you guys have watched this video and you guys now have learned about stocks, and we will see over the next 20, 30 years how much our portfolios will grow. I hope to look back on this video in another 20 to 30 years and just pat myself on the back, because I hope that this portfolio that I currently have will be well over $3-4 million by then. If you guys learned something new in this video, make sure you guys give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can continue to make videos like this for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at BaddieandBiz. I'm constantly posting inspirational and new ways to make money on my stories, so make sure you guys follow me on there too, so you won't miss out on any new information I share on my Insta. And of course, if you guys have any questions or comments, or you want to share your own success, make sure you guys just comment down below. I try to spend 1 to 2 hours every single day answering your comments, and I love to read them, so don't be afraid to leave some comments down below. Bye everyone!
Hold me close till I